Okay, hello everybody, this is Todd with All Things Archery and Shooting, and today we're going to be doing a arrow assembly video. And what I have here is some, which is kind of unique. I've got some old Bear Archery. See, these are old Bear Archery cedar shafts. Now these are new old stock. They're from the 60s. Found these on eBay for 26 bucks for the dozen. They're rated for 40 to 50 pound recurve or longbows. Okay, and it's just how they came from Bear back in the day. So we're going to turn these into a nice arrow, and I'm going to take you through the steps how I do that. Okay, as you can see, there's 12 here. I've already added the bullet points or practice points, which are 145 grains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. I'm also going to be adding broadheads to these later on, and some blunt tips, and I'm going to be doing some cresting and adding white and black feathers on it. So it should be a really nice setup when it's all done. So let's go ahead and get started. So first thing you want to do is you want to get these cresting on. Now cresting is an old school thing. They've been doing it for years. People used to crest just to personalize their arrows. And honestly, cresting just looks really cool. So it's really nice. So it's come a long way from the old paint style cresting. Now they sell these cresting things. You can buy them in any archery store. They run, how much are these? About $8 for 12 of them. Okay. And basically you just run these onto your arrows and makes them look really nice. So let's go and get that done. Okay. First thing you want to do is you want to prep your arrows, make sure they're all clean, which I've already prepped all these and wiped all these down with some isopropyl alcohol. And we're going to go ahead and add the cresting to it now. So you take one of these cresting things here. Now these things can sometimes be a real pain to open. So what you need to do is you need to use the edge of a knife like I'm doing here and just click the edge of it. Sometimes it'll come right through like that, and then push your fingers to the edge of the knife, and then you can pull the whole thing off. And then what you do is you lay that down. Best thing to use for this like a mouse pad. I'll show you why in a minute. This mouse pad makes it a hell of a lot easier to use, and also this has got a nice little square box to it, so I can maintain the exact area of my arrows at all times. The same distance on my cresting at all be the same on all my arrows. So we're going to take your arrow. Okay. Like I said, let's get you a mouse pad. I like this to get a little square box so I can line up my my arrow cresting on the same square at all times. I use the square as my guideline. Then I take my arrow, and you have that little line right there around your nock. I lined that line up with the edge of the mouse pad. And what you do is you got to be just the same amount of pressure all the way around. Just go ahead and roll it in place like this. And once it rolls over, see there, completely puts it on like that. See that? That's what it looks like. Nice and sealed. Alright, now again, I wish this was a black instead of blue, but I mean, these are old arrows, you can't compete, but once this gets the black and white fletchings on, I think it'll look really nice. Let's do a couple more, okay? Same thing, take your cresting tape, go ahead and pull off the corner. This is and when you get it, pinch it really good so you can peel it back. I pinch it on my knife like that, and I peel it right off, and lay it right down, okay? Again, line up the corners and the edges, just like that. Okay, here we go. Good. Same thing. Take your next arrow, line up that corner there, just roll it into place. That's why I use a mouse pad. If you roll it, it gives a nice, smooth, even roll, and it all adheres evenly. And just run your hand down the seam. And there, it's now perfectly rolled in, okay? Let's do one more. Again, use the knife edge of your blade to do that. Pinch it against the blade so you can peel it off like I'm doing there, and then lay it down. These are fluorescent, glow-in-the-dark cresting, so when you're out hunting, deer hunting and stuff, and you shoot a deer at night and trying to find your arrow, these will reflect pretty bright when you get a light on them. They reflect quite brightly. And they actually make the arrow look really cool, and you can personalize them to your own use, so you know they're your arrows. Okay, especially if you're at a range with your friends, your buddies, you're shooting, you always know which ones are your arrows. So again, same thing, line it up, and just roll it in place, just like that. Bingo. See that? All nice and neat. All right, I'll be back in a few minutes and get the rest of these crested, and we'll get to the part of actually attaching the feathers to the arrow. Okay, stand by. Okay, everybody, I just finished cresting all these arrows, and we're going to go ahead and start putting the fletchings on these. Okay, what we're using here is we're going to use an Arizona Easy Fletch. This is a straight fletcher, which I prefer a straight fletcher. A lot of people they like to use a helico stretch or helico fletch or straight fletch or whatever. Well, I prefer a straight fletch. I'm using right parabolic, which are these here, right parabolic feathers. What's nice about these, they can be put on with straight, which is very nice. And then you have, of course, the black right wing parabolic. So these are all right wing parabolics. We're going to do a straight fletch with them, and we're using, of course, probably the best stuff I used for years now. This is boning fletch type. It's really good stuff. So I'll be using this to fletch them with. I already got my arrow, my fletchings laid out. Arrows I'm going to fletch are right here. So without further ado, let's get started. So let's get this opened up. Alright, I only use this for fletching, nothing else. But it's the best stuff I found for fletching though, okay? So I always take my knife, a little hole in the top there. There you go. Alright, screw that little thing right here on, which just kind of makes it easy to put on with. Alright, so I always got a napkin I keep to the side when I'm doing stuff. Alright, now we do. Okay, alright, first thing we have to do, we have to change our nock orientation before we use this tool. Nock orientation, this is your nock feather, you have to use this here, so this is your little edge right here. So, alright, that's going to be your nock. So you stick this in, it's real simple, you just stick it in and you twist it. Here, click, and now it should be orientated to that nock the way it's supposed to be at. Yeah, so that's going to be my, now remember your arrow is going to go like arrow string fits on there, so you want the nock on this side, so you have to twist this all the way around. Okay, keep going. Now, okay, again there's a little adjustment tool in there, a little blue, I can hardly see what's in there. Here, let me get a flash so you can see it better, okay? Okay, look down in there. If you look down there, you should be able to see that blue nock holder. That should be orientated for your string for nock feather to the left if you're shooting off a shelf rest like I am. Alright, so put this in there now. Okay, so that's there. A little bit more. Other way. Still working, trying to get that adjusted right. Sometimes they're easier said than done. This one's been a little bit more difficult, but that looks like it right there. Okay, good. So now we're adjusted. So now we can put our feathers in, okay? Now usually, again, this is your nock feather. This has got to go in first. So you put this in, slide it all the way down. Be sure your feather's fully seated. Slide it all the way down. Okay? Let's do your white feather next. Okay, looks good. Trick is be sure you get these flush all the way down and slid all the way down the edge. You gotta be sitting flush in the arm or it won't glue right. Okay? Same one here, okay? Now look at that, okay? Again, you want to be sure you get it all the way down to that hole in that ridge so it sits flush. Okay. There you go. Alright, now take your glue. You just want a very thin set of glue on this. You don't need a lot. You just need just a little bit. When I mean a little bit, I mean a little bit. You don't want too much because it doesn't look good. Just a very thin layer of glue is all you need on this thing. Small bead, just like that. See there? That's all you need. It's a small, small bead. It's going to push down further. There you go. Small bead, okay? Just nice and small. There you go, just like that. You don't need a lot. Just need to be sure you fully cover the quill though. Don't leave any spaces on the quill when you do it, otherwise it won't stick properly. So be sure you cover all the quill up. Okay. Alright, just twist through the other one the same way. Be sure you cover the very thin layer is what you want. You don't want a lot, okay? A very thin layer, okay? I mean, I say thin, it's super thin, but you want to cover the quill completely so you get a good adhere to it, so it adheres very well, okay? Now, once that's done, go ahead and take your arrow. Okay, drop your arrow in, just like that. Okay, twist the bottom on this. That locks it into place. Put it in there. And let it sit for about 10 minutes, and you can take it apart. In the meantime, clean your tip off. Just wipe your tip off and put a cap on it so it doesn't get hard on you, okay? That's it. Now we can wait till our next one now, okay? Okay, it's been about 10 minutes or so. Let's go ahead and take this out of the Arizona Easy Fletch, see what it looks like. Alright, there we go. Look at that. Came out really nice. The next thing you want to do, in all your arrows here, is always take my glue. I put a little drop of glue right on the edge of the quill right there, just to shoot off the eye, shoot off the rest. So this will keep the feathers from popping up and tearing. So, all right, cool. We'll set that one to the side to dry. Let's do one more. Again, open your thing up. Always put your cock feather in first. You don't forget, because I've done it before. I've started otherwise, and I put the cock feather in the wrong spot. So yeah, can be done. Okay, just make sure they're all the way seated down. Okay, we're good now. Again, use your glue. You don't want a lot of glue, just a little bit of glue. That's all you need. The trick this is you have a very thin layer, and be sure it coats the whole quill when you do it. Okay. Same thing on this side. Don't need a lot, just a little bit. But the trick is a thin layer, and it's got to coat the whole quill, bottom of the quill, so it adheres properly. Okay? Keep those two things in mind, it'll come out really nice. You don't want too much glue because then it just looks sloppy. Actually, too much glue doesn't hold it any better than a little bit of glue. Okay, a little more right here. Okay, here we go. It's just about done. I love these Arizona Easy Fletches. I mean, they really stand their name, Easy Fletch. It makes perfect arrows, does a really nice fletch to it, and comes out really, really nice when you do it. And it's pretty clean. Okay? Take your arrow, drop it into your nock. Make sure it seats all the way down where the nock's at. You'll feel it seat. If you don't feel it seat, it's not right. Twist the bottom of this, which locks it into place. Close it, and then put your cap on, which is your cap here. It goes over the top like this. Slide it all the way down and lock it into place. There you go. Okay. Let that sit for another 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, and you're good. Okay? All right. Always clean your tip off before you finish. You have a mess when you come back. So keep your tip clean. Push it all the way down. All right. All right. We'll see you in about 10 more minutes. We'll do a third one, and then we'll move on to the broadheads. Okay, everybody. We got some of these all fletched up now. So I've got what I did here is I went ahead and I fletched up 3 of these for field points, 145 grain. Okay. And I also went ahead and, as you see, it's kind of really nice. And black and white zebra came out nice with that color. So, okay, and here are my ones for my broadheads. These would be the same ones, same weight. Again, there it is, feather been fletched in there. Okay, here we go, look at that. Now we're going to go ahead and, these are bodkin points here. Okay, and these are old school points. They've been around forever, but they do a great job, especially on thin skin game like white-tailed deer and elk and muleys. But I've also been successful with these on hogs too, believe it or not. They work pretty well on hogs too. So we're going to go ahead and attach these onto here. I'm going to show you how to set these up so that it flies correctly and shoots like it's supposed to. So let's go and get that done. Now what I'm going to use for that is I'm going to use Gorilla Glue. Now, I don't like to use any hot melt on these because I found this stuff holds better than anything else I've come across. It's really good stuff, and it holds really well. The first thing you want to do is you want to do a test fit on the arrow. Just get it on there, twist it, and you do a test fit. Look down the shaft. So if you look down the shaft, make sure the broadhead's straight, and if it is, then do a spin test. Now a spin test is take it on a hard surface like a piece of wood and spin it. If it spins straight like that one, then you know it's in good shape. Watch it again. Good. So one more time. It doesn't wobble when it spins, so we know that's going to be a good head. Now, the trick to doing these now is you got to use not a lot of glue. It doesn't take a lot to hold this in, just a little bit. Just put a little bit of glue on there. You don't need a lot, like I said. And I just move it around like this here, and I put a little spot on this side over here. I always do at least 2 spots of contact with the glue, okay? And take your head. You want to put your head in as you twist. You want to twist it as you go in, because that's what that does. That'll move the glue all the way around like that. So when you put your head on, you twist it like that. And then when you get it, you want to line up your blades, because these are 3-blade broadhead, with your fletchings. So you twist it. That's what I like rubber this does. It takes about 20 minutes to dry, but you have room to work with it. Not like hot. So you twist that, you get it lined up with your rest of your heads, like it is now. And then I just take it and I push it on my piece of wood here, just so I can seat it really nice and tight. And there it goes. All right. Now, one more spin test. Perfect. Okay. Now that one is done. That is a broadhead that is done. All I need to do is put a little sharpened edge on that a little bit, and she's ready to hunt with. Okay. All right. Let's go look at another one now. Now what we're going to do here, as you can see here, if you did that right, it leaves a little bit of glue around the bottom of that, and you can take your, I use like, I don't know, this way you need to use anything just to spread it around. Sorry, I just made a mess on my desk here. That was crazy, huh? Okay. Basically what I do is I take an old field point like this. I just go along the edge of the bit, like the backside edge of this, and I move that glue around so that it's nice and smooth. What that does, that'll seal it off also from water and moisture getting there and causing the head to rust, and also helps seal it against when it passes the animal a lot easier too. Okay, so there you go. And that one's ready. Let's do another one. Okay, there's a second one right here. Same thing. It's already been prepped. Okay, the tool I use for this, by the way, is right here. Okay, so boning, design maker knocks. It's got 2 settings on it. This is your one where I put the black marks, your knock side to do your knock chamfer, and then this is your regular chamfer for your broadheads or field points. It's easy. You just take it, you slide it in there, and just turn it. And it makes a perfect chamfer. So that's already, so now let's apply the next one again. We'll test fit it first, see if we get it on there. See how it spins. That looks really good. All right. Now again, take your glue. You don't need a lot. Just put a little glue on there. All right, just like that. I put 2 spots on it, just like this. Okay. Okay, then after that, I take this and I take it and I just spin it as I do it. I spin it just like that. Okay. And then now again, I want to line it up with my veins. So I'm going to stand it up, line it with my veins and my fletchings. So you look right down, if you can see that or not, it is now lined up. If you look right down it, it's lined up with the fletchings and the veins. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that or not, but hopefully you can. Okay, and that way it'll fly correctly when it shoots out of the bow. And once that's done, I put a little pressure on it. The glue oozes out. Take my old field point, same thing, just run it right around the edge like that. Alright, that'll seal it off completely. Keep the water out, like I said, and get a nice clean seal on it, okay? Alright. Now you just take your thing and spin it. Another one, good, okay? That one's ready to hunt also, alright? Now move to the next one, okay? Same thing, take your chamfer, okay? Sure you're using the right one, just put it in there. Clean it up a little bit. That's all I'm doing is I'm just cleaning up a little bit, okay? Gives it a nice clean area so there's no moisture on it. Again, test fit your head on it, which is right here. Put it on there, twist it. Make sure it fits. Give it a spin test. Okay? Now line it up with your veins and you're good to go. Alright. So, a little more glue. 2 slots, all you need right there. 1, 2. Don't take a lot of glue now. Alright, and you take this, again, you put it on there, as you put it on, you twist it, okay? And again, what that does is it puts the glue all over the whole head of it. See that? And then you twist it all the way on, and then line up your veins again. I twist it till my veins are lined up, which these are right here. And then I just go ahead and, again, seat it really good, and then take my old field point and just run around the edge like that. Now if it's done right, it should almost come to the chamfer edge, okay? And doing this glue, I'll spin it around. Now you just take it, give it another spin test. No wobble, and it works good. Now these arrows are ready to hunt, okay? So now I have 3 hunting arrows, and I have 3 target arrows, okay? All that's left to do on these now is to go ahead and put a little, it's got a pretty sharp edge on it now, but I'm going to go ahead and just do a fine sharpening with my stone on that, make it razor sharp so it shaves. And then that'll be ready to hunt with. Okay, now let's take a look at the weight of the arrows now they're done. Since those arrows are done, let's take a look at the weight, okay? You can always keep your glue clean, that's very important, otherwise you get ruined. So clean your tip off of your glue, make sure it's really clean, put your top back on so it don't get hard on you. Whether you're using this type of glue, which by the way, this one here, use the brown one, don't use the clear one. The brown one works best on all the like arrowheads and nocks, everything else. This is the best stuff for it. They'll never come off with this. Only thing I use this for is feather fletching, so I don't use it for anything else, okay? If I'm using veins, plastic veins, then I'll use like the super glue type stuff, like the gold tip super glue bonding agent. But for feathers, I use the Boining Fletch Tight, the platinum. It works the best on feathers, okay? All right, let's go and get this weight out now, see what it weighs. All right, first we'll weigh our hunting arrow, okay? Let's turn our scale on. Okay. Go ahead and tear it out. There you go. So it's zeroed out. And I just add my freaking arrow to it. See what it comes out to. Okay. This arrow comes out to exactly 515 grains. Okay. 515. Let's see what this one does. Same thing. Lay it on there. Let it zero out. Come on, a little better. Okay, this one here is coming in right at about 508 grains. Let's take this one out now. This one here. $510 grains. Okay, so we are probably within 7-8 grains of the hunting heads. Now let's try the field points. Okay, this field point here, this one's coming in right about 505 grains, so it's pretty close to that. Try this one. Again, nice, stay where you're at. Another about 510 grains. And one more. 508 grains. So now my field points and my broadheads are now pretty much matched together in size, okay? These 2 arrows here weigh within 2 grains of each other. That's how close they are. So what I'll do with these is I'll mark these with my black markers. Something I do, I found it works really well for me, is when I'll use these I'll use for a test on my broadhead target and my field point target, so you can see how close they fly together. So what I'm going to do is I am going to add just one single dot here and one single dot here. Now that's going to tell me with these 2 dots that I have, it's going to tell me that these 2 are matched as close as I can possibly get. These are within 4 grains of each other, basically. Okay, so all right. And I'll do that for the rest of the arrows as well. Okay, well I hope you've enjoyed that. Again, these are some old Bear shafts from the 1960s that I picked up on eBay for, 26 bucks. It's got an old school bodkin broadhead on it, okay? All right. We went with 5-inch parabolic fletchings on it, okay? And we went with a cresting, which is your tape-on cresting, which is really nice. Alright? Alrighty. Well, that's the assembly of the arrows. I hope you enjoyed that. Stay tuned. I'm going to be making some more arrows later on, but I'm going to be making some for one of my favorite pastimes during off season, and I think that everyone should do it, is stump shooting. I'll be building some arrows for stump shooting, so look for that as my next video. And they're going to be built with blunt points and flute feathers, the whole 9 yards. It's going to be really fun to watch that and make those. And I use those in the woods all the time to hone my shooting skills. Alright, well this has been Todd with All Things Archery and Shooting. I want to thank you for watching, and if you like this video and you find it helpful, please click that like button, and please subscribe. I'm trying to build this channel, and if you click that bell next to that that like button, I can go ahead and notify you when my new reviews come out. And just to give you a heads up, what's coming out in the next week or so, I'll be doing a review on a PSE Sequoia longbow. Okay, and then I'm also going to be doing a review, maybe in 2 weeks or so, a review on different types of broadheads like these here. I'm going to probably use. I have 7 or 8 different types of traditional broadheads we're going to use. Some old school Bear green super razor heads, all the way up to the new Zwicky heads, and some of the newer Muzzy heads too. They're designed for traditional archers, so be sure to look for that. Okay, that'll be coming out in a couple weeks as well. I'm just waiting for some more broadheads to come in the mail, and that'll be it. Okay, well, I want to thank you for watching, and again, it's been Todd with all things archery and shooting, and have a great day. Ciao.